Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This is going to be a reading about the unexpected. So, what is happening that you're not expecting? Sorry, just tidy this a little bit. Okay, so for the first pile, we have Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, and Aquarius. And your card is Unexpected Money. For the second pile, we have Libra, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo. And your card is Court Person. And for the third pile, we have Taurus, Scorpio, Aries, and Gemini. Your card is Good Lady. Okay, I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using your zodiac sign, the deck, the chosen card, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. First pile, we have Unexpected Money. So because this reading is about the unexpected, I really feel like this is reinforcing the idea that what is happening for you that is unexpected is a lucky break, is something that you will feel like it's finding treasure, like hitting the jackpot, something like that. So I also feel like it's the moment of surprise that will be maybe quite funny, maybe even comical. It's so ironic. There's a certain, like, a comedic punch or flavor to the moment. Okay. Or maybe there's some kind of irony. Okay, we have the feline, and the feline is about unfinished business and things that you are maybe delaying, or maybe it's something that you thought wasn't going anywhere and it's actually manifesting. Let's see. Oh, a collective of pixies. So I feel like you have to do something that you're maybe forgetting, or you're kind of postponing, procrastinating maybe a little bit. And because there's a lot of power in a group of people, or a big collective, and it will surprise you. That power will surprise you somehow. Okay, I think that all four. Okay, all of these cards. Friendship with the moon in Cancer. Restlessness with Mercury in Aries. Patience, Jupiter in Virgo. Choice, Mars in Libra. Isolation with Saturn in Virgo. And finally, egotism, Mars in Leo. I think that this adds to the comical aspect of this find. because this picture of the rooster with the human face, it's quite comical. It's funny. It's so strange. It can be about showing off. It can be about you, something surrounding you, or other people surround you, other people that surround you, that put you in the spotlight, or that put you in a very specific place. I feel like someone is kind of impatient with you also, or waiting for you. Someone is waiting for you. Someone is waiting for you to do something, and they want you to come forward and say something or do something or write something. We have the Fool. Yeah, this is the part that you're not seeing. I feel like it's the other person that is waiting for you, and you're not seeing who that person is. You're not seeing what you want, what you have to do to get to that person, or to do something that that person finds satisfying and that releases the energy, the movement forward, so that you are in the spotlight. I feel like you have to be touched by some sort of energy, like a sun, or so to be seen by a certain energy, either by an authority figure or a specific institution that needs to see you. It's like you need to be considered. It's almost like you win a prize, but you need to participate in the contest. They need to know more about you. It's like you need to show yourself more. You need to expose something beyond illusion. Judgment. There's something that needs to be in the public eye, or for the consideration of others. Surrender. The Four of Cups. But it's funny because it's like not listening to whatever is happening around you and just minding your own business and focusing on yourself. Both of these characters have their eyes closed. So there's something about meditation or inner knowing, something about your inner wisdom. Go with the flow. The Ace of Cups. I think this is talking about some sort of technique or something that you have to do to get to a certain point. I think that this has to do with an information that has to be downloaded, or there's some sort of truth that you have to get to on your own, and then some other collective considers you. That's weird. Okay, let's continue. So what is this truth? What is it? The whole or totality with Five of Wands. Totality. I feel like there's this chain or collaboration, a connection maybe. Oh, I think you need to connect the dots and you're not really connecting all the dots. There's some sort of, there's this unfinished loop and it's isolating you. It's making you kind of ignorant or blind to some reality, to a reality. Silence. This is the star. Politics. Seven of Swords. So I feel like what is unexpected here is the moment of finding something out. I think that maybe you will kind of solve this. There's something that you're doing that requires patience and it needs solving. It needs like a problem solving approach. And I think that maybe you will get help. You will get help if you ask for it, but it has to be asked in silence. It's not something that you can, because you don't know, maybe you don't know who to ask. And I think that you need to maybe pray for it or write something down. Just really be in that silence with yourself so that you can understand what to do, because there is this inner knowing that will show you the way. But why is this Seven of Swords here? Change. Wheel of Fortune. I really think that you will change your completely your approach to some problem that you're dealing with, and it's because you are finding something. You're finding something out because you pray for it and you ask for it, and you're finding something out. The answer will come to you in meditation or prayer. Morality, the Queen of Swords. I think you will have a grasp of the whole that maybe you're not really having right now. There are some missing pieces, and you need to have this grasp on the whole so that you can move forward. You will have a completely different approach to things. This is also maybe unexpected to you. Like I didn't expect to change so much my strategy or my approach or whatever I'm doing, whatever you're doing, whatever is your process. I don't think you expected so much change maybe. Inner voice. So this collective might also be the unconscious, the collective unconscious. It can be that you have the access and you will stumble upon the answers to your problem or to your situation in meditation or in connection with your unconscious. So, what is the best way to achieve this? The Lovers. And you have choice. I think that you have to choose the moments that you use for these meditations, and you have to maybe make the wiser choice, the wise choices. I think you can, it's like you have to ride a wave, and it's a collective one. You can't really be fighting the outside world in order to do this. I think that you have to kind of work with what you have. So for instance, if you don't have a place to do this prayer or this connection, you have to wait for the right moment, maybe like when people are going to sleep, or everything is calmer around you. There's something in the environment, in the context where you are, that needs to kind of provide the right ingredients. I feel like there's this, it's not a puzzle, it's more like having a strategy to achieve the desired effect, and not fighting what is around you. I really feel like you it's going to come very easily. But then what? Like what happens with this knowledge? What is it about? Adventure with the Knight of Pentacles. Hurt with the Nine of Swords. Creativity with the Empress. And youth with the Knight of Wands. So we have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, creativity. So I really feel like you'll gain momentum with this transformation, whatever you find that is like a great find. Either it's a great idea, or it's just a process that really moves forward because you do something that really makes a difference. And there's this multiplication phenomena also here. So you start with a little, and by the end of the process you have a lot. And I think that that's also part of that surprise, like wow, I didn't realize that it would get to this. It was such a huge expansion of my world. I really feel like your world is going to expand because you're going from a more isolated phase of your life towards a more connected, and it has to do with the social context with a group, but it also has to do with multiplying what you have, with amplifying what you have. And I feel like there's this worry that you are not going to have this, or that you're not going to be able to create exactly what you want. And I want to address this worry. Okay. Guidance. Three of Pentacles. I think that, yeah, this collective energy, this is also about you getting guidance and interacting with people who have the information or have the knowledge that you need to move forward and achieve what you want and get the prize, get the treasure. And this treasure, whatever it is, it has to do with who you are. Your personality, your expression, your body also. So it might be that you are working with your body in some way, or with the body. It can be health, or it can be something physical, something like a physical work, or like a performative work. So yeah, getting that guidance from the collective, both. I think that also your unconscious is trying to contact you, find those moments, because it will show you the people who are open to you, the people who want to also open doors for you, because I feel like there's collaboration here. There's great potential for including more people in your life, and that also brings a lot of wealth and abundance, and it helps you. So in order for you to help contain these worries, you need to get that guidance, and you need to collaborate with other people and understand the different pieces of the puzzle that you might be missing, because it's like not everything is yet in place. There's a process, an ongoing process, and you have the expectations. You are afraid that maybe things will go awry, and I think that you will be supported by a collective energy. It can be, it can express itself in many, many forms. It can be that you're getting good advice, you're getting good guidance from your spiritual guides if you use those moments of silence wisely. It can be that you are getting guidance from some sort of institution or authority figure that will help you. Yeah, I think this reading is just telling you that if you look just to the side, just a little bit to the side, and you're not just too worried about your work, you will find that treasure just a little bit to the side, or just a little bit beneath that surface of the conscious. Very interesting. Okay, I hope this was useful. Thank you so much. And if you also enjoyed it like I did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2, your card is Court Person. And it can mean many things, and I really wanted to frame it a little bit more with some context before I try to interpret it or its significance. Okay. So the Glankener. The Oakman. And the Singer of Connection. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of information and I'm really trying to understand if this is I think that possibly you're being faced by someone unexpectedly, maybe there's an opposition here, there's maybe a conflict that will be, or a dispute that will be started by someone, and you're possibly not aware of what is happening yet, but I think that it kind of depends on the connection that you have with that person. It's like you can create something, or that person can create something even when it's not there. It's weird. Seduction with Jupiter in Pisces. Adaptability, Moon in Gemini. Vision with the Sun in Pisces. Status with Jupiter in Taurus. And rebellion with the Mars in Aquarius. There's two people involved in this situation, aside from you. That's what I feel. And for some of you, it's possible that it is a romantic situation, and then you have like two people, different people, who are also kind of fighting for your attention. But that's the very like basic reading. I feel like this is much more complex than that and nuanced. There's a connection between you and two people, or there is a connection between two people that you know that you're not aware of yet, and that you're going to be made aware of very soon. And that's the unexpected part. And I think that you will have to change something in your approach, and possibly alter the way you deal with each one of these people. And I think that also one of these people is trying to kind of poison the other person about you. It's very, I don't have a good feeling about this. Because you see how there's one of the characters in the audience is a monkey doing monkey business, right? And he's kind of sneering at us. He's smug, and he did something. He's guilty of something. So what is your position on this situation? What is it? The King of Swords. So I think you have reasons, and you have reason to do what you do, or to take your stand. You have your arguments, and you are right about those arguments. So, but this is, I think that this is going to make you feel like there's some sort of a loss, or that you're losing something. That you are losing something, or a possibility, or let's see, Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. There's just something related to your work, to a process that you're going through. It's like there's someone or something is undermining a project or something that you're doing. Oh, okay. So the candle just blew out, so just give me a moment. I was feeling this weird smell, but I couldn't understand where it was coming from. Okay, so now we have our candle, our light. Three of Wands. So she's also looking at someone who is walking away. So has this already happened and there's an unexpected, Seven of Pentacles. I feel like this has already happened. So maybe there's an unexpected turnaround in this situation. So maybe what I just described has already happened. The Knight of Cups. And the High Priestess. I feel like your intuition was right about someone and that you are going to be kind of vindicated. That's how I feel. And maybe this is what you weren't expecting. Or I think you weren't expecting it to be so quick. It's like karma. It's like karma is served somehow. This is kind of a cliche, and it's a very limited way of speaking about karma. But I think you're going to see something that will reward you, like reward your intuition. Like you had the right feeling. You made the right choice, even if at that moment it seemed like it wasn't right and that you were maybe like offending someone who was high status or who was perceived as higher status than you, or who had a lot of authority, who was very respected and well, considered someone who was very valuable. And I think you're going to see that you were right to set yourself apart from that person. Maybe you adapted in a very wise and knowledgeable way, although at that time it seemed like you were shooting yourself in the foot, let's say, or just cutting your losses. You win in the long game, let's say. Seven of Wands. It's like, to me, this is like stand your ground. If something also comes up that confirms your suspicions, stand your ground. Be loyal to your beliefs. Be loyal to your intuitions. That gut feeling that led you to this response. Trust your gut here. Wow. The Moon, you see? Something is trying to come. You're very intuitive. So some of the fears that come up might be just really confirmation that something isn't right. And sometimes we even have like stress, anxiety about things that seem unrelated, that seem like they have nothing to do with what is going on in our lives. But they do. Sometimes they really do. And you will make that connection like, oh, so when I felt like that, this was a warning that this and this and this was going to happen, or that person said something or did something behind my back, or said something about me to this other person that transformed the way things developed. And you couldn't really change it because that's the nature of that person. I think that someone here is kind of has this nature, this betrayal energy. King of Cups. Yeah, I think that your emotions are your biggest compass. So the way you, if you're going through, it's like when you're going through kind of a shady part of the neighborhood, or a dangerous like alley that's dark or something dangerous like that, and you get that feeling like you're in danger. It can happen when you're in a perfectly normal environment, and if it does, maybe it's kind of a warning of something that is happening in the background, and you're getting that signal. So whenever you get those hunches and intuitive hits, if you try to think like, am I thinking of someone? If I thought of someone, who would that be? And don't be kind of paranoid, okay? Because maybe this is not for you, or maybe it's a lot lighter. It can be a little bit lighter than what, this weight that I'm kind of conveying, because to me the Glankaner is a very tough energy, a very difficult energy, it can be dangerous also, because it's about illusions, it's about lies. And the Yokeman is about the depth of the wisdom that you can achieve if you see the whole picture, or if you have a connection to an older, wiser energy or spirit guide. And I think that you have that connection through your intuition. And Singer of Connection, here you have it, the Singer of Connection. You have that connection. Other people can also have connections, of course, with spirit or with entities. I think that this energy here is an entity that is very, very negative, and a lot of people use it to get to other people because it's all about the ego. 9 of Pentacles. So I think that this is quite it's interesting that I think you'll have to defend your right to something. I think you have the moral high ground in something, and you are going to have to maybe make that apparent, to make that known, to expose those. It's like the receipts, right? Show the receipts to show that you have the right to that material possession, to that abundance, to that treasure, to that dream. It can be something that you treasure in your life, whatever it is, something that you interact with great pleasure and happiness, or that you have desired for a long time, something that you possibly nurturing in your life. And I think that there was this danger of you being tricked out of that treasure, out of that dream fulfillment. Three of Cups. Once again, that three party. It's not third party. I don't think this is about third party situation or anything like that. But there's definitely three people involved here. It's like three stakeholders, and they have to arrive at an agreement, and you have to show something to prove that you have your own standing, you have your own space, your own place in this situation. The world. There's a conclusion to this, so it's interesting that maybe this is also part of the surprise, is that you are going to solve this once and for all. It's going to be established in a way, it's going to be clarified in a certain way, and you are going to have your own piece of this. You're going to have the right to that piece, and it's because you stood your ground. It's because you stood for your rights, even if it meant it meant going against a powerful structure, a powerful entity, even an old entity, or using an old entity to establish your rights to this. Maybe you will also share the power. There's a sharing of the power, and you need to stand your ground to have that power too, because someone was trying to trick you out of it. Someone was trying to trick you out of your own rights with seduction. But you saw it. You saw it in time. Just in time for that crown to be bestowed to you. Is there any more advice? Because this seems like it's tricky, right? Queen of Cups. Just trust your instincts. Yeah. Listen to your instincts. Find allies and good friends, people who love you. To surround yourself with people who love you, because that will also trigger feelings of protection and of guidance and of being cradled. And I feel like once you feel like that, it will also be easier for you to have the right arguments, to have the right worldview, to have the right vision of what's happening. Is through your feelings, stabilizing your emotions and feeling safe, because dealing with this energy makes you feel unsafe, and it triggers a lot of like hormones and chemicals in our body that stop our reasoning, and it stops us from looking at things in a way that is beneficial for us. And it starts kind of destroying our own body and destroying our mind completely. It's that saying, fear is the mind killer. It's I think from Dune, right? From the original novel, I think. So fear is the mind killer. And you should focus on the love so that you get that solution. You get those hunches and the solutions will just come to you via your intuition. And you will also be helped maybe in weird ways. This is not only about intuition, but also about people wanting to help you or helping you because they love you, because they really like you, and because there's something endearing or sweet or loving about you, and people want to help you. They also want to participate in that battle, I think. And they want to help you have that closure, have that finishing, giving that finishing blow, let's say, to a harsh energy or entity. Interesting. I hope you liked this reading. It was very intriguing. It's almost like a novel, like a kind of a thriller. It had that feeling of mystery, but also of conflict that you see in the novel, in novels, sorry. So very old energies also at work here, very ancient structures. So yeah, bear that in mind. And yeah, if you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3, your card is Good Lady. It represents maybe getting a helping hand from someone, possibly someone who has a lot of feminine energy, or is a very motherly energy also. Okay, let's see what else is in the unexpected for pile number 3. So what is unexpected here? Unity and death. Interesting combination. Okay. What else? Is there anything more for pile number 3? Okay. I feel like we have to see the cards in 2 phases. Companionship with Moon in Libra. Eccentricity, Saturn in Aquarius. Lust with Venus in Aries. It's like very feminine energy here. So, sorry, I just realized something. Sorry, I keep forgetting that I have to hide the cards for YouTube, not to strike the videos. Okay, so there's a lot of feminine energy here. Companionship, maybe a friend, a good friend that has a lot of feminine energy. Is this about that friend? Something unexpected about that friend. What is it? Let's ask the cards and then get to the other oracle cards. 10 of Pentacles. So it seems like a very harmonious relationship. It seems like it's something that brings you a lot of joy and happiness. 4 of Pentacles. There's some sort of work in progress here. Ace of Pentacles. There's a lot of pentacles. So maybe this is about the material of that person, or the body. So it's possible that this has to do with something about the body of that person that has that motherly energy in your life. The female body. There's something here about the feminine energy and the female body. So uniting the feminine and the masculine. Someone here might get pregnant. It's possible that this friend or there's this energy of the mother here creating life. And I don't think that this is something expected. I think that this might be kind of by chance. So I don't think it's anything that you can control or that you can do or say about, whatever happens. But maybe this person is expanding their family. Something here is changing. And maybe you will have to change your life because of that. Maybe because your friendship can change, or maybe you will also change something in your plans because of that. The High Priestess. Queen of Cups. So many women and feminine energy. It's incredible. The Sun. I really feel like there's also the possibility that this has nothing to do with children, and it's just that there might be a confusion in a relationship. And it feels like an energy that was there, like in the background, working, doing its growing in its own way. And then I think you will have it's like a change. There's a change in the roles. This is really mysterious. I think that there's also this part of secrecy, but it's not. It's a kind of a cloaking. There's kind of a cloaking, like the Death card here. And there is going to be a revelation, and that revelation is going to change things completely. It's going to create another dynamic in this situation. Let's see. Okay, Sun in Gemini with versatility. Jupiter in Gemini also with bluff. There's a lot of Gemini. And Mars in Aries with impulsiveness. I think that someone is going to do something, and it's going to be maybe like a faux pas, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I didn't really mean what was understood, or sorry, didn't realize it wasn't focused. So maybe someone will do something kind of rash or make a decision that's not really based in anything. It's just a spur of the moment, like something that you were, it's like having lust for someone and having the desire to kiss that person, for instance, or to do something physical. And then you realize that you weren't really ready for the consequences of that. You just went with the moment, and it was weird afterwards, you know. And yeah, I think that something is coming up to the surface, and there's this ambiguity that I'm feeling, and it's still going to be there. And why is this unexpected? Because I feel like you kind of have you have this weird feeling already. Like, okay, this is the Magician. I think you'll realize that you have to do something about the situation. Like, you can't really pretend that it didn't happen. You have to do something. The Empress, there you go with the pregnancy. So for some of you, this might be, yeah, if you don't want to get pregnant, just be aware of anything like what I said, like just going with the impulse and not really thinking about the consequences. If it's not for you, you might be dealing with a friend that is going through the consequences of just going with the impulse, with the lustful feelings. And possibly there's this, it's like a phase in your life where maybe you have a lot of sexual energy or sex drive or erotic, like eros, you have a lot of passion, or you're very attractive, and it's really easy for you to have relationships or to manifest, romance and physical interactions, romantic physical interactions. But just because you have that ability, it doesn't mean that you also have the ability to deal with the consequences. So if you are going through some sort of phase like this, I can imagine like a teenager or something that's kind of discovering sexuality, discovering the body, discovering romance, and also the tragedy of romance. And it's quite hard when you're very young to see the negative. You only see, what drives you forward and what makes you open to the world. And sometimes it's hard to see the negatives and what puts you, in a more down to earth, I would say, down to earth, slow, because I feel like you're manifesting really quickly, and that can turn into a cycle of impulsiveness, of just having this power and manifesting things very quickly can also create this illusion that you also have the ability to sustain that, because that's the problem of being very young, right? Because you have that energy, but you don't have the wisdom. I read somewhere like youth is wasted on the young, right? And it's that idea that if you had the youth and you had the wisdom, you would be extraordinary, like a superhuman. That's the whole tragedy of life, right? That you need to grow older for you to understand the depth of what you're going through, what is the human experience. And I feel like that death is the most profound thing about the human experience, because it's what makes us human. It's exactly what makes us human and what distinguishes us from the gods, from what we consider above us. It's the fact that we have a limited time here and that we have to learn our lessons and to experience the limits. We can't really just have this limitless energy that drives us forward into, because it becomes destructive. We only learn that with experience. The more experience we have, the more we are like efficient with our energy. We understand that some things are just not going to be sustainable and that we shouldn't waste our time and energy with them. I'm sorry if it kind of sounds to me like it's like a lecture and that's not how I want it to sound. It kind of seems, if I was listening and I was a teenager, I was like, that's boring. I don't want to hear it because it's not giving me what I want. And that's the feeling that I'm getting, is maybe some of you are quite young, or this specific pile is talking to the younger generations. But it can also be that you are dealing with someone who is like this and you want to help that person and you are in that person's life and you are also helping them transition into maybe adulthood or into a place in their lives where they're able to sustain themselves or to be able to cope with what life has to give you. Because there is a lot of potential. There's a lot of beautiful energy here. It's very feminine. That's how I feel. I feel like you're possibly interacting with also masculine energy because we have the sun. It's a Polonian energy. It's very rational, very clinical also. But I feel like you have so much on your, it's like so much potential. You have so much that you can do with this energy. So what is the advice? Temperance. So now you understand. The advice is temperance, is to be prudent, to be thoughtful, to look at things calmly, to don't jump into things right away. If it's a relationship, try to know the person, give yourself time, give that person time to grow. If it's a masculine, I would say Seven of Cups. Yeah, you really have to separate the wheat from the chaff. If you're around masculine energies, if this is not about that. King of Cups. Here you go. I think that you will have to discover emotional stability by yourself first. That's the advice here. Eight of Pentacles. Work on your techniques. There are many, many techniques, and if you need to have a more rational approach to this, because this is kind of irrational, the energy that I feel is very irrational. It's like lustful and crazy making and just, I just want to party, or I just want to do the first thing that comes to my mind and say the first thing that comes to my mind. There are many, many techniques that help us manage our emotional energy, that help us manage our vitality, and I would really dive into those if you are so inclined. So there are so many life sciences. There are so many approaches, more scientific, Western, Eastern. So just choose your path and stick to it. Also, I would say stick to your skills. So if you choose a path, stick to it and be disciplined, work on that skill diligently. Ace of Wands. And this is Zeus. I think that this is also telling me, it's reinforcing the fact that you have a lot of energy. And it's, if you consider it a divine gift, this energy, it's Zeus, it's God, it's divine energy, and you have to channel it very wisely. You have to be, and I can also be like helping someone who is dealing with someone who is like that. So it can also be like a masculine, because I'm seeing so much feminine energy. It might also be like a masculine energy that really needs the feminine energy so that they can channel the energy appropriately, so that they can act appropriately. That's what I'm listening. So they can act appropriately. Because maybe you can also be a feminine who is dealing with a masculine that makes very unwise choices. Maybe because of youth, because of ignorance, or because of just impulsiveness. And you have to possibly guide this energy, guide this person. It can be a young masculine energy, a young man that, or a young kid that is discovering something about themselves and needs guidance. So this is also telling you to seek that guidance. If you don't have it yourself, seek that guidance. There are many approaches, very positive approaches to vitality and vital living and health and mental health, body. There are many holistic approaches. I think that you can have very specific approaches, but it's very important to combine them with holistic. That's my experience, my personal experience. Of course, this is not a consultation, like a medical consultation at all. This is just a story that I'm telling because I'm feeling and I am intuiting that this is the story that I need to tell. And it's my personal story also, because whenever I had only a very specific approach to anything that was going on in my life, I realized later on that it was very limited, and it was actually sometimes keeping me stuck in kind of loops or ideas that were not productive. And whenever I mixed some kind of holistic approach to whatever I was doing, I was able to move out of the loop and then come back if I felt like it was something important. So I don't know why I'm going into so many like weird details, but I hope this was helpful. It's very practical reading and very interesting. I feel like there's a very young energy. So either you are dealing with a younger person, feminine or masculine, that needs this advice, or you are yourself the young person that might find this useful. I hope so. Yeah, very, very interesting energy. I feel like I want to go out and run for a bit. I feel like very energized. And yeah, thank you so much. Very inspiring. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.